After diving with the SS Yongala shipwreck off the coast of Townsville yesterday, as you may have seen in the last episode, it was time to visit the zoo and off to bed early, since the next morning we were expected to board the ship towards the Great Barrier Reef. The Great Barrier Reef is actually not one single huge reef, as I always thought. It's a massive amount of smaller reefs, as you can clearly see on these drone shots. The dive was absolutely amazing, as one might expect from the most famous reef in the world. And after this delightful experience, we moved further south down the Australian east coast. We're currently on a campsite in Airlie Beach. We found out the hard way yesterday. There's a little black fly, which is very small, and it's called a midge. It's an Australian species, and they are small enough to crawl through your clambu. So we were camping last night near the waterfront, and we're still itchy everywhere. Yeah, the mosquitoes couldn't get in, but the midges could, and we're still scratching us everywhere. I'll put some shots in from this morning. As you can see, we've moved into the van. It's thundering and lightning outside. It's the first rain we have seen in 3 months, 4 months, like real rain.
In 3 weeks' time we'll be home again, so I'm planning what we do and when we drive, because in theory we should be able to make it, but also we tend to go spontaneously on things and then stick around somewhere which is not something we can afford, because then we just need to drive for 10 hours in a day, which is not something we want to do.
But as always, eventually sunshine will break up the rain, and so we can start our leg today, which will take us to Bull Bay. But not after we've taken our last refreshing dive.
We're at Whitsunday Bay and we can see all the islands of the Whitsundays, and it's beautiful. Hashtag drone life.
After a few hours on the road, it was time for lunch and enjoying some waterfalls. Unfortunately for us though, there wasn't much water falling down. You may remember the drought causing all the bushfires in the past months in Australia. On the end of this dry river here, usually there's a waterfall, so this was quite unsatisfying for us. These rivers are all dry because of the lack of rain. There are also rivers and pools, however, which are spring-fed, so they originate from a spring and they still do contain water. Our campsite for the night was on Bull Bay, famous for its kangaroos on the beach and the wallabies, but not before we let the cane train pass, which will take at least a few minutes because it's very slow and very long. After setting up the campsite with the help of some local birds, it was time to eat something and enjoy a good night of sleep. Mainly because we wanted to be awake for the 5 AM sunrise to enjoy the kangaroos and wallabies on the beach. The animals are friendly and used to people, mainly due to the fact that the campground feeds them every morning, so they'll be there for the tourists to enjoy. The rest of the day was for relaxing, playing with the drone and enjoying the beach and the view. Something we thought we deserved after all those thousands of kilometers of driving. We found a cinema that was playing The Joker, the new movie, some Batman spin-off which Susanna really wanted to see, so after a good night of sleep we went to Mackay. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time and please consider subscribing.